This is a 4% client play for me. I think it's a tough spot for the Yankees. They had, a doubleheader at Cleveland on Saturday. They needed high leverage arms to get game one home. Needed 4 big innings from 3 different relievers to close out game one. Yesterday, they played an 8-7 extra innings game that needed 5 of their top, 5 of their available best relievers. They ended up losing the game 8-7 in a bit of like a gut punch as well. That was a game that they had multiple 2-run leads, and they end up losing 8-7. Now they've got to turn around and go up to Toronto, no off day, and play a Blue Jays team that's kind of in a nice revenge spot. The Blue Jays have had some recent success against the Yankees, but didn't have success in the opening weekend, in the opening series last weekend. Yankees took 2 of 3 in the Bronx, and so I think you get the Jays in a little bit of a revenge spot. Probably something they've had circled was this series at home with the Yankees. The other thing I think, just before we get into the pitching, in regards to the Jays, I think they're a little bit undervalued at 8-8. I did the show last Monday, and we kind of talked about them going into their home opener, coming off of that brutal road trip. Rays, Astros, Yankees, all on the road. They ended up winning that game, and they're 4-2 at home, on this homestand so far. So I still think that the Jays, who I have as a legitimate contender in the American League, are still a little bit undervalued based on their 8-8 record, which is based on a very tough road trip to start the season. I have nothing against the Yankees. I'm not a Yankee hater this year. I think this team is outstanding. They lead, they take patient at bats 1 through 9. Their lineup is great. But it's just how high I am on the Jays that I'm willing to play them in this spot, against what I do consider to be a very good Yankees team. The other thing I'm willing to sort of back here is Bassitt. He had 2 really tough starts, but last week pitched great against the Mariners. Pitched into the 7th inning, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, no walks in that start. And he's been very good against the Yankees. You go back to last year, 14.2 scoreless innings, 19 strikeouts against the Yanks. You're talking about starting pitching. Heel is very good. I mean, the stuff is awesome for Luis Heel for the Yankees, but he's not exactly economical. He will run the pitch count up. He'll get his strikeouts, but he will put a couple guys on base. And I don't think he's pitched past the 5th inning yet this year. So that implies that here you probably need the Yankees bullpen for about 4 innings. So with all that being said, the spot and the fact that I still have Bassitt, stronger than Hill in my starting pitching rankings, and I'm just astronomically high on the Blue Jays, probably higher than the market is. I had to play this game at minus 108, and I think it's minus 110 right now. I expect the Blue Jays to get it done in the first game of this series.
So I got to ask you about Bassitt. Bassitt got lit up his first 2 starts. Last time out, 115 pitches. I think that's the most any starter has thrown in baseball this year. I'm really worried about guys throwing 115 pitches and then backing them in their next start in April. Do you think that's an issue, or is it a non-factor here?
Teddy, with most guys, I would say it's probably an issue. With a guy like Bassitt, who runs high pitch counts sort of regularly, I don't think it's as much of an issue here. So, I think he found a groove in his last start. And I guess for me, it's April, right? Had I seen this in August, and let's say he had multi, high pitch outings and I could sense some fatigue, it'd be more of a factor. Here, it's his 4th start of the season. Clearly still looked to be in spring training mode and is working out the kinks in his first 2 starts. So for me, I'm more interested in the 1-run, 7 innings essentially of 1-run ball, building off of that, than I am concerned that he threw 115 as opposed to, would we even be having this conversation if he threw 102, right? It's just less of a factor for me now at this point in the season.